In this video, let's talk about your standards for yourself as an athlete. So if you expect to score 30 points every game or throw a shutout or hit 2 doubles and a home run every single time out, you might be setting yourself up for failure. So a lot of the reason that athletes feel frustrated, feel really disappointed in themselves, or get really angry on the field when they make mistakes, when they don't live up to their typical game, is because they set performance expectations that are too lofty to be reasonable and that they really can't meet on a consistent basis. So if you look at the highest level athletes and you kind of map out what a typical basketball season or football season or baseball season or whatever season looks like, you're going to see that it's a bunch of ups and downs. It's going to be waves. Your stats are going to become an average of all your good games and your bad games and everything in between. So if you always set your expectations at this very, very high point, so say you expect to score 40 points in a game because you've done that once, or you expect to throw for 400 yards passing in football because you've done that once, or you expect to go 3 for 4 every game as a softball player or baseball player, it's going to be really tough to live up to that because that's well above your average, right? Well above your typical game. So yes, it's important to have high expectations of yourself, hold yourself to a high standard personally. And that's something I did as a pro baseball player. But at the same time, you have to know that every single day there's going to be fluctuations. And within those fluctuations is the average. And so every great game that you have is going to be balanced out by a terrible game, right? That's how you get back to that middle ground, that average. So if you find yourself taking the game home with you, where you go home and you're upset a lot of the times because you didn't play as well as you wanted to and you're frustrated and angry with yourself, or you're seeing that frustration and anger overflow onto the field when you make mistakes or you miss shots or whatever it is, ask yourself this question: are my standards set too high? Yes, I want to be great and I have to hold myself to a high standard, but are my daily expectations of what a typical game looks like too unreasonable to be met on a consistent basis? And am I then taking that home with me and decreasing the joy and the happiness that I get from my sport because I am constantly frustrated because I've set the bar too high? One of the big things you learn from long seasons and from, playing quite a long time in your career, like I did in baseball, is that you live to play another day. Yes, today matters, but when I don't pitch well in game number 84, I know that there's game 85 and game 112 and game 127 and game 138 to look forward to. So I don't have to hang all my self-esteem or my self-worth on any single game. And really, my self-esteem isn't based on how I perform on the field. You want to set expectations that are reasonable. Look at your stats, look at your averages and say, okay, what do I typically do? If I typically score 12 points, or I typically throw for, 240 passing yards, or I typically, can go 1 for 3 because I hit 333 as a hitter, those are more typical outcomes, and that's what I should be looking at. And that's where I should be saying, okay, can I set this bar for me at a reasonable expectation? And then if I exceed that, wonderful, I'm going to feel good about it. And if I go below it, I'm going to understand that there's always going to be highs and lows. And that's just a part of being an athlete. And the important thing is to feel good about yourself as an athlete, enjoy what you're doing, and to set reasonable expectations about your performance for the future. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel below. You can also find my mental skills book called This Slump Shall Pass. It's written for athletes of all sports, and I think you'll love it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you here in the next video.